All right, go ahead and get started. Start off by saying Shalom. All praises to the Most High. Tonight, we're going to go into breaking down the words gods and lords. So tonight's lesson will be called Gods, Lords. A lot of people, when they read the Bible, they use the word Lord, they use the word God. And not only do they use the word Lord and God, but they use it referring to the Most High. So tonight I want to break down some information and some scriptures to show you why we should not refer to the Most High using God and Lord. All right. A lot of people have to understand the importance of using the Most High's true name. Okay. People have to understand the importance of using the Messiah's true name. Okay. Like, I'm a man. You can't just walk up to me and say, hey man, and I'm going to answer. I have a name. So the same thing with the Most High. So let's start off in Exodus 20:3. So we're going to break it down tonight, showing those names does not pertain to the Most High, God and Lord. All right. Exodus chapter 20, verse 3. And it reads, thou shalt have no other gods before me. All right. So here, when you read this, this is the very first commandment. All right. But I'm going to start it from the beginning, though, to show you who's speaking here. Exodus 20:1. And it says, and the Most High spake all these words, saying, I am the Most High thy power, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. So the person that is speaking here is the God that brought Israel out of bondage from Egypt. That's who's speaking right here in Exodus 20. The God, which I call the Most High, who brought Israel out of bondage. And when he brought them out of bondage, he said in verse 3, now that I brought you out of bondage and introduced myself to you, thou shalt have no other gods before me. So let's break down the word gods right here. Let's break down the word gods in Exodus 20:3. Gods in Exodus 20:3 is H430. H430. So H430. And it's Elohim, Elohim, Elohim. And Elohim means magistrates, angels, that's key, gods, goddess, so goddess, you hear the word goddess, judges, mighty. So the word gods right here means Alahayim. And it means magistrates, angels, gods, goddess, judges, mighty. So when he's speaking in Exodus 20:3, he's saying, don't put no other angels before me. That's what he's saying. Because over time, many angels got power here on this earth. So he's saying, don't put these individuals before me. So what angels is he speaking of when he say don't put these other angels? Because we just broke down gods and it means angels. So what angels are he speaking of when he said don't put these other angels before me? Let's go to Isaiah 14:12. So the word gods in Hebrew is Alahayim, which means angels or judges or goddess. Goddess is a female god, which we all know there's many that's being worshipped today in this day, modern day. So the Most High with the very first commandment says, do not put these individuals before me. Isaiah 14:12. So let's see who he's speaking of when he's talking about the angels that's being put before him. Isaiah 14:12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? Let's break down the word Lucifer. Lucifer is H1966. H1966, and in Hebrew is Hayel. Hayalel. Hayalel. So Hayalel means Lucifer in Hebrew, and it means the morning star. The morning star. So Hayalel means Lucifer, which is the morning star. So let's read it again. How art thou fallen from heaven, O morning star? All right, Lucifer, son of the morning. How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? So this right here tells you that Lucifer, which was a star, was cut down from heaven to the earth. So that's why when you see a falling star, it represents an angel being kicked out of heaven. And you was taught when you see a fallen star to wish upon that star. But it says this fallen star came down to the earth and weakened the nations. It weakened this world. Verse 13. For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High. So Lucifer, when he was cut down, said, hey, I'm going to make it back up there, and I'm going to be bigger than all the other stars, which are angels. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. So Lucifer said, now that you have kicked me out of heaven, I'm going to make my way back, and I'm going to get to the top, and I'm going to be like you. What does he mean when he says he's going to be like the Most High? I will have your creation, who's supposed to be worshiping you, they will be worshiping me by the time it's all said and done. And that's what we have going on today. Majority of this world, if not almost all this world, is worshiping Lucifer as if he's the Most High, and they don't even realize it. A lot of people realize they are, but a lot of people don't, because they don't understand how the Bible was written. let's break it down and show you how the stars, which Lucifer was a fallen star, represents the angels. Let's go to Revelations 12:3. So we went to Exodus 20:3, and he says, don't put no other gods before me. The word God means angels. Alahayim. So he said, don't put no other angels before me. And we're breaking down right here how Lucifer was a fallen star, which represents an angel. Okay? Revelations 12:3. And it says, and there appeared another wonder in heaven. And behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his head. And his tail drew the third part of the stars from heaven. So it tells you when the red dragon, which represents Lucifer, was kicked out of heaven, he drug his tail and brought a third part of the stars down with him, and did cast them to the earth. So all of them was cast down to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. So Lucifer and his stars, the fallen stars, shooting stars, were cast down to the earth. So every time you see a shooting star, that's just an angel that's disobeying the Most High, that's being kicked down. Skip down to verse 7, Revelations 12:7. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon. Michael is an angel that represents the Most High. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon. And the dragon fought and his angels. So it tells you that the dragon, which represents Satan, when he drew his when he drug his tail and brought a third part of the stars down, is talking about his angels. So he brought his crew down with him. The dragon fought and his angels. So his angels represents the stars. Okay? So all the stars you see up there are the angels. But the ones that you see falling down from heaven, which are the shooting stars, are Satan's gods. So that's why the Most High said, do not put these gods, these angels, before me. Psalm 78:49. And all these angels that came down with Satan are the ones that are here running this world. All the way from the government, all the way to the school system, all the way to the religions. They are the ones that are in charge. They run this earth. So the Most High knew Satan and his gods were going to be here on this earth. So that's why he says don't follow them. But the world is so deceived, they don't even realize that Satan is running this earth. Actually, let's go to Job 9:24 to show you that Satan runs this. Hold your spot in Psalms 78. Go to Job 9:24 so I can show you that Satan is in control. Him and his angels are in control of this world. Job 9:24 reads, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? So it tells you that the earth was given into the hand of the wicked, which is speaking of Satan. Satan runs this earth with his wicked ways along with his angels. Okay? Let's go back to Psalms 78:49. So this is why the Most High says, hey, beware. Beware of what's going on, because Satan and his angels are here on this earth. Psalm 78:49 reads, he cast upon them the fierceness of his anger, wrath, and indignation, and trouble, by sending evil angels among them. So it tells you that the Most High has sent evil angels down here to this earth to be amongst us. Satan and his crew, they are here. So the Most High knew once he sent these evil angels amongst us, he had to warn us through his commandments, do not worship these guys over me. because these guys will bring deceivement and all kind of things to this earth to make you think they are me. These angels are going to deceive you and make you think you're worshiping me, the Almighty, when you're going to be worshiping them. Okay, so there's a difference between the Most High's angels and Satan's angels. That's why when we read in Revelations 12 and 7, it says Michael and his angels fought, and then the dragon and his angels fought. So now there's a division between the angels. Okay, Satan's angels are here to bring wickedness upon this world and to lead you to the place of damnation. And then the Most High, his angels, are here to rule. They are here to keep things in order for the Most High. So now you have a fight. Okay? The Most High's angels are here to rule and to keep order. They're like the judges. They're here to keep, like the judge, he rules on different things. So Most High's angels are judges. They're here to rule and to judge and to keep order for the Most High into the coming of the Messiah. But then Satan and his angels, through the division and through the war, are here to bring wickedness upon this earth. Let's go to Genesis 19 and 1. So let's get into it and break it down how the word Lord and the word God means angels. Okay? Or they can mean anything. This is why we should not be using the word God and Lord to refer to the Most High. Because we just read and broke down the word God means angels. So when you say the word God, please forgive me, God, you can be speaking to any one of these gods. Satan is a god, and all of Satan's angels he brought down, they're all gods. So now when you use the word God, God, please forgive me, you can be speaking to any one of these gods. You're not speaking to the Most High. And that's what we're going to break down. Genesis 19 and 1. And it reads, "And there came two angels to Sodom at even, and Lot sat in the gate of Sodom. And Lot, seeing them, rose up to meet them. And he bowed himself with his face toward the ground." Verse 2. Genesis 19 and 2. "And he said, Behold, now, my lords, turn in, I pray you, into your servant's house, and tarry all night, and wash your feet, and ye shall rise up early, and go on your ways. And they said, Nay, but we will abide in the street all night." So verse 2 says, and Lot said, "Behold now, my lords." Who is he talking to? He's talking to the two angels that he's seen coming in verse 1. So these two angels was referred to as lords. Okay? These two angels was called lords. Let's break down the word lords. Hebrews 1:13. Hebrews 1:13. And it's Adon. Adon. And Adon means rule, controller, all right, master, all right, and it says, compare also names beginning with, so lords is compared to names beginning with Adonai, all right, or Adoni. So if you see the word Adoni, which is A-D-O-N-I, that means it has something to be doing with the word lords. Now that's a key word tonight. So write that down because we're going to break that down a little bit. All right. But Adah means Lord, which means to rule or master. That's all the word Lord means. The word Lord just means a master or somebody to rule. All right. And then we broke down the word God, which means angels or judges. Okay. So now let's go to, let's go to Joshua 22 and 22. Let's go to Joshua 22 and 22. So we read in Genesis 19 and 1 where it says two angels were coming, and then Lot referred to the two angels as lords. So when you use the word Lord, you're not speaking on the Most High, because the word Lord can be referring to the angels also. This is why the Most High gave Moses his true name, so he will not be mistaken. That way when you use the name God and Lord, there's no excuse. He cannot be mistaken. Because if I say the word God, many people are going to say, huh? If I say the word Lord, many people are going to say, huh? Just like I said earlier, my name ain't man. But if there's a room full of males, it's like 25 males sitting in this room, and somebody walked up and said, hey man, everybody go turn around and be like, you talking to me? Even though you don't call them by their name, if you say the word man and you got a room full of males, everyone's going to turn their head and be like, oh, you talking to him or him? Oh, so that's what it means when you say, when you use the word God or Lord. All them gods out there and all them lords, which is all them angels, are going to say, huh? You looking for me? And that's what you're going to get. Joshua 22 and 22. And it says, the Lord God of gods. So I'm gonna read this the way it is. I know I usually say the Most High power, but it says, the Lord God of gods, the Lord God of gods, he knoweth, and Israel he shall know, if it be in rebellion or if in transgression against the Lord, save us not this day. So it starts off to say the Lord God of gods, the Lord God of gods. But if you notice, when you read, the word Lord right here is in all caps, right? And then God next to it starts off with the capital, and then God's is in lowercase. Let me show you something. Go back to Genesis 19 and 2. Go back to Genesis 19 and 2. And then Genesis 19 and 2, when Lot referred to them as lords, he says, and he said, behold, now my lords. You see the difference in lords? Lords is in lowercase. So lords in lowercase means to rule or master. All right. Now let's go back to Lord in Joshua 22 and 22. Let's break down Lord right here. So Lord right here is H3068. Lord right here is H3068. And this is where the deception starts coming in at. Okay. So Lord right here, H3068, means Yahovah. Not Yahovah, my fault. Yahweh. Yahweh. So H3068 means Yahweh, which means self-existence, the Jewish national name of God. That's what they tell you. Yahweh means self-existence or eternal, Jewish national name of God. So when you see Lord in big caps, they try to tell you this is the name for the Most High. But it's not. A lot of people say that's his name. No, that's what the word Lord in high caps means, is Yahweh. And it's not Jehovah. A lot of people say Jehovah, and it's not Jehovah. It's Yahweh. Okay? Now, let's break down God, starting with the capital G. Because hold your spot right there and go back to Exodus 20 and 3. Hold your spot where we was at. Go back to Exodus 20 and 3. And in Exodus 20 and 3 it says, "Thou shalt have no other gods before me." Gods right there starts with the what? Lowercase g. So when you see gods with the lowercase g, it means what? Angels. Okay? Now let's go back to the gods with the capital letter. Joshua 22 and 22. So the Lord God, so God right there with the capital G, let's break it down. God with the capital G is H410, H410, and it's Isle, which is AHL, Isle, and it's strength, mighty, the Almighty, great, idle, but used also as a deity, strong, power. So if we had to use one word right here, I would use power. The word God in capital G means power, strength, mighty, almighty. The word strength means power and force. So if you break down the word strength, it means power and force. So that's what the word God in capital G means, power. God with the lowercase g means angel. So when you're reading the Bible and you see the God with the lowercase g is speaking of the angels. When you see God with the capital G, they're trying to tell you that that refers to a higher being. But the word God just means power. That's it. It don't mean the Most High. This is what they try to teach you, that it means the Most High of a higher being. But no, the word God with the capital G just means power. And the lowercase g just means angel. Okay? That's it. Don't mean nothing different. Okay? Go to Google. So let's see how they try to trick you with this word God. Go to Google and put in God. And go to Wikipedia. So go to Google, go to God, and go to Wikipedia. All right, I'm going to read. And Actually, skip down to, I want to say, the fourth paragraph where it says there are many names for God. So skip down to the fourth paragraph to where it says there are many names for God. And it says there are many names for God, and different names are attached to different cultural ideas about God's identity and attributes. So it tells you right here, in different cultures, which means different religions, there's different names for God. But we already broke down the word God means power. So who are they talking about? In the ancient Egyptian era of atheism, possibly the earliest recorded monotheistic religion, this deity was called Aten, premised on being the one true supreme being and creator of the universe. All right, so that tells you in Egyptian era, that's what they was calling them. In the Hebrew Bible and Judaism, he who is I am that I am, and the Tetragrammaton Yahweh, which is, this is where they get the whole Yahweh from, because they throw in these vowels, but we know when you break it down in Hebrew, that's not what it means. And then it says, and then it tells you it means he who exists, are used as names of God, while Yahweh and Jehovah are sometimes used in Christianity as vocalizations of capital YHWH. So they tell you when you see that all in all caps YHWH, it means Yahweh or Jehovah. And these is what the Christians are using. In Christian doctrine of the Trinity, God comes substantially in three persons, is called the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. In Judaism, it is common to refer to God by the titular names Elohim or Adonai. The latter of which is believed by some scholars to descend from the Egyptian Aten. All right. So there goes that Adonai, which means Lord. You remember we broke that down. Okay. And then it says in Islam, the name Allah, that's what they use for God, which are the Muslims. Okay. And then so on and so on. So they teach you that he has many names. That is not true. But they teach you he has many names because you have all these different angels in all these different religions who are being worshipped. Just what he told us in the first commandment, don't worship these angels. So in these different religions where you got all these different angels, they are being worshipped over the true power. And we all know the Bible is written in Hebrew. And right here it tells us in Hebrew, his name is I am that I am. Once you see that, you don't need to go no further. The Bible wasn't written in nothing else. Okay, it was written in Hebrew. So once you see that, that's when you stop. You don't got to look no further. All right. Now the word God does represent many names. So let me fix myself. The word God does represent many names because we just broke it down. The word God means what? Angels. So if the word God means angels, and you have many angels, then the word God does represent many names. This is why you're taught his name is God, because now you can be like, okay, God, but when you're saying God, you're just calling on all those other angels. All right. But we also know the word God in caps means power, which represents the strength of the angels. So this is why these angels are being called gods, because they have power. An angel is a supreme being. They have power. They're stronger than us. They have more powers than us. So this is why an angel is called a god. So when you use the word God, is referring to many people. All right. All right. Now, like we said, there were good angels, which is Michael and his angels, which are the Most High's angels, and there were bad angels, which is the dragon and his angels, which is Satan. All right. But the Almighty power, which is the Almighty God, all right, He is the God of gods, and He has names. So you have all these gods, which are angels, and then you have the supreme God, which is the Almighty God, which is the God over these gods. So He's the Most High is the angel over these angels. He's the supreme angel over these other angels, but He's the Almighty angel. Okay, let's go to Exodus 6 and 2. Let me show you how He was the Almighty. Exodus 6 and 2. So don't go along with their trickery. Their trickery was to get you to use the name God to call upon Him. So many other gods will say, when you refer to the name God. Now you can't reach to your true power because you don't know His name. All right. Exodus 6 and 2. And it reads, And the Most High spake unto Moses, and said unto him, I am thy power. And I appeared unto Abraham, unto Isaac, and unto Jacob by the name God Almighty. But by my name, Ahiah, which is I am that I am, was I not known to them. See, they try to throw the name Jehovah in there. But we know the word I am that I am does not mean Jehovah. But when we just read in the Wikipedia, they try to tell you that the word I am that I am means Jehovah. That's what they just tried to tell us right now on Wikipedia. In Wikipedia, when you read it again, they try to tell you that I am that I am means Jehovah. And we're going to break it down and show you that it doesn't. This is why you got to do your own homework. If you just read what they said, then this is what you'll believe. But in Exodus 6 and 3, he says, I appeared. So the Most High told Moses, when I appeared unto Abraham, when I appeared unto Isaac, and when I appeared unto Jacob, they called me God Almighty. Why? Because they did not know my name. But by my name was I not known to them. So they didn't know my true name, Moses. So since your forefathers did not know my true name, instead of calling me God, they called me God Almighty, because they knew the word God just meant all these other angels. So they used the name God Almighty to refer to me. The word Almighty just means possessing all power, supreme being. That's what Almighty means. Almighty means supreme being, possessing all power. So when your forefathers referred to me, they called me God Almighty, because they know I was supreme over these other gods. They didn't call me God, because if they knew they used the word God, they would be reaching out to those other gods. But they use God Almighty, which means supreme God, supreme being. And the only reason why they called me God Almighty is because they did not know my true name, Moses. Moses, you are the only person that I gave my true name to. Until I gave you that true name, your forefathers before you called me God Almighty. Let's go to Exodus 3 and 13. Exodus 3 and 13. So this is why you got to get deep into this to get the full understanding. See, these people in these religions, they don't do this. They just read. And they just read what they see at the top of the surface and they leave it at that. They don't go deep into this stuff and see why Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob called him God Almighty, and to see why Moses, what was that conversation at the mountain. They don't do all that. So before the Most High gave Moses his name, Our forefathers called him God Almighty. Exodus 3:13 reads, and Moses said unto the Most High, behold, when I come unto the children of Israel, and shall say unto them, the power of your fathers has sent me unto you. And they shall say to me, what is his name? What shall I say unto them? And the Most High said unto Moses, I am that I am. And he said, thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel, I am has sent me unto you. So this is what we was reading in Wikipedia. He told Moses, hey, if you need to tell them a name, tell them I am that I am has sent you. Because that's what Moses' question was. Moses said, when I go to the children of Israel and say that you sent me to get them, they're going to ask who you are. What's your name? And he says, tell them my name is I am that I am. Verse 15. And the Most High said moreover unto Moses, thus shalt thou say to the children unto the children of Israel, the Most High, thy power of your fathers, the power of Abraham, the power of Isaac, and the power of Jacob has sent me unto you. Remember, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob called him God Almighty. And he says, this is my name forever, and this is my memorial to all generations. So Moses, this name that I just gave you, I am that I am, is my name forever, and this and a memorial unto all generations. Skip down to verse 18. Exodus 3:18 reads, and they shall hearken to thy voice, and thou shalt come, thou and thou elders of Israel, unto the kings of Egypt, and ye shall say unto them, the Most High thy power, or I'm going to say it, the Lord God of the Hebrews has met with us. And now let us go, we beseech thee, 3 days' journey into the wilderness, that we may sacrifice to the Lord our God. So it tells you right here, the God of the Hebrews. So you have to break the name I am that I am that he gave to Moses. You have to break it down in Hebrew. And if you break down the name I am that I am in Hebrew, then you'll get his true name. Because it says he is the God of the Hebrews. This is the person that brought them out of bondage, what we read in Exodus 20:1. When he says, I'm the one that's bringing you out of the land of Egypt, and don't put no other gods before me. He was talking to the Hebrews. So you have to break down the name I am that I am in Hebrew. So let's break it down. Exodus 3:14, when it says, and the Most High said unto Moses, I am that I am. So let's break it down. The word I am is H1961. I am is H1961. And it's Haya. Haya. Hayah. Haya. And it means to exist. Let's break down the word that in Hebrew. It's H834. That in Hebrew is H834. And it's Ashar. Ashar. AHSAR. Ashar. All right, but you can spell it ASHAR. Ashar. That's how a lot of people spell it. So you have Hayah, Ashar, Hayah. That's his name. Ahaya, Ashar, Ahaya is how you say I am that I am in Hebrew. So this is the name that he gave Moses. It's not Jehovah. It's not Yahweh. I am that I am means Ahaya, Ashar, Ahaya. And he is not the God of the Christians, because the Christians call him God. That's what the Christians call him. When you go to a Christian church, it's God. You go to a Muslim church, it's Allah. Go to a Catholic church, it's Mary, Goddess. He is the God of the Hebrews, not the God of the Christians, not the God of the Muslims, not the God of the Catholics. Ahaya, Ashar, Ahaya. So this is why when you deal with these religions, you don't get the true name. And we just read in the Wikipedia that they say the word God means many names. Yeah, it does. Representing all these different angels, which are idols that they have at the forefront of their religions. But the God of this Bible, who's at the forefront, is the God of the Hebrews, and his name is Ahaya, Ashar, Ahaya. I am that I am. Okay? Let's go to 1 Chronicles 16 and 25. Let's go to 1 Chronicles 16 and 25. So I'm trying to just show you the importance tonight on why you shouldn't use the word God or why you shouldn't use the word Lord. It means nothing to the Most High. It really doesn't. He gave Moses his name and said, this is my name forever. So if he said, hey Moses, this is my name forever, this means you need to use it. And everybody from here on out needs to use this name forever. That's what it means. The word forever means forever. All right. 1 Chronicles 16 and 25. Actually, hold on. Let me show you guys something. I just want to give y'all the breakdown for forever in Exodus 3 and 15. So when he told Moses, this is my name forever and this is my memorial to all generations. Forever right there is H5769. H5769. And there's Alam. Alam. And it means eternity, always, everlasting, at any time. So this is my name that you are to use at any times, always, eternity. Not for just because many people, when you try to go tell them, he said, hey, this is my name, they be like, oh, well, that was just back then. That's done away with. Eternity means always. And then he says at any time. So at any time you refer to me, this is the name that you use. 1 Chronicles 16 and 25 reads, for great is the Most High, and greatly to be praised. He also is to be feared above all gods. For all the gods of the people are idols, but the Most High made the heavens. So it tells you that the Most High is to be praised. He is the one to be worshipped. He also is feared above all gods. So all these other angels, they feared the Most High Ahaya. For all gods of the people were idols. So it tells you all the gods that the people follow are idols. So all these gods that these religions have at the forefront are idols. And what's another commandment? Another commandment, thou shalt not make any engraven images. So these religions, they make these graven images, which are statues and idols, and they worship. But just reading this precept alone lets you know that there are other gods. So why are you using the word God? When you use the word God, who are you calling on? These other gods? All right? But these other gods, they fear Ahia, which is I am that I am, because he possesses all the power. He's the supreme being. Deuteronomy 10 and 17. So just the scriptures we're reading tonight lets you know that there are many gods. So you will, in order for you to call on the right person, you have to use his name. You have to use his name to connect to him to get his attention. Just like I used the scenario earlier, when you come in this room and there's 25 men in here, and you come in here and say, hey man, everybody's going to turn. But if you come in this room and there's 25 men in here and somebody come in here and say, hey Ed, then Ed, you're going to get Ed's attention. So just like the Most High, if you call him I am that I am, which is Ahia in Hebrew, you'll get his attention. But if you say God, all the gods out there is going to say, huh? And now you're going to be calling on all of them, and you won't get the attention of the right person because he ain't going to say, huh? Because he has a name. Psalm 78 and 49. You have to understand when you worship these, Deuteronomy 10 and 17, you have to understand when you worship these gods, the more you worship them and idolize them, the more power they get. 10 and 17 of Deuteronomy. For the Lord your power is the power of gods. The Lord of lords, a great power, a mighty and terrible, which regarded no persons nor taketh reward. So it tells you, for the Lord your God is the God of gods and the Lord of lords, a great God. So it's telling you right here in this precept that he is the supreme God, all right, which means angel. So he's the supreme angel. Why is he supreme? Because the word God also means power. So he's supreme because he has all the power. But it's showing you right here again in this precept that there are many lords and that there are many gods. So when you use the word Lord, who are you calling on? When you use the word God, who are you calling on? And we already broke it down tonight that the word Lord can represent angel and the word God can represent angel. Okay, remember Lot, he referred to the two angels as lords. All right. So this is why you shouldn't use these words, because they don't mean nothing to the Most High. Psalm 78 and 49. So I'm just I'm not coming in here and trying to tell you, oh, you're doing wrong, you're doing this. I'm just trying to teach you how to call upon the right person. That way when you pray and you ask for forgiveness and different things in that manner, you know who to call on. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm just a messenger. I'm just a messenger that the Spirit sent and say, hey, go tell the people this so they know how to refer to the Most High. Okay? Psalms 78 and 49 reads, he cast upon them the fierceness of his anger, wrath, indignation, and trouble, by sending evil angels among them. So let's find out who these evil angels are. Go to Google and put in list of gods. Go to Google and put in list of gods. And we'll find out who these evil angels are. All right, and when you go to list of gods, click on where it says list of Greek mythological figures. List of Greek mythological figures. And it reads, the following is a list of gods. So it tells you right here, let's not be ignorant. Because there's going to be many people that's going to watch this video and be like, he man ain't tripping. It ain't, his name is God, regardless. No. There is a list of gods, goddesses, and many other divine and semi-divine figures from ancient Greek mythology and ancient Greek religion. So right here, it tells you that these religions are using these gods. Right here, it tells you, clear as day. All right. Let's scroll down. Immortals, the Greeks created images of their deities for many purposes. So it tells you that they created these images for many purposes, for you to worship them as one. A temple would house the statue of a god or goddesses. So they temples, so they churches will have statues of their gods and goddesses in front of them, or multiple deities, and might be decorated with relief scenes depicting myths. Divine images were coming on coins, drinking cups, and other vessels were painted with scenes from Greek myths. So it tells you right here that they use these images and these deities and these statues for their religions. They put them in their temples. They use them for their religions. This is what they did. So let's go down the line and look at some of these. All right. And y'all can just, I'm not going to go through them all. But if you just scroll down and look at them, this is what you got. And I want you guys, I'm going to give y'all about a minute just to kind of skim through all of them. And tell me what you notice about every single one of them. What do all of them have what do all of them have similarities of? Well, they all are naked. That's what they do. Who? Roman counterparts. Okay. True. Well, they're Roman counterparts, huh? All right. Well, we'll go. I'll show you. So the first one is Aphrodite, which is Venus. That's her Roman name is Venus. Okay. So that's a planet. Okay. Now remember, Venus is a planet which at one point was a star. And what we already talked about the stars tonight, fallen angels. So this is why the Most High said, don't put these angels before me. This is what he's speaking of. All right, next one, Apollo. Apollo is a big name in America, right? Showtime at the Apollo. You see the word Apollo everywhere. All right, Apollo is the god of music. So the music world, okay, that we live in. So who knows about Showtime at the Apollo? Who's heard of that? Showtime at the Apollo, what is it about? Music. And it's bringing in new talent. So anybody that wants to showcase their talent, they would go to the night at the Apollo and show their talent, and they would either get booed off or they would stay on. All right. So this is what it was brought to. He is the son of Zeus. Okay. When you read all of these, majority of them have something to do with Zeus. That's what they all have in common. When you read them all, they all have something to do with Zeus. So Apollo, he is the twin sister of Venus. which are kids of Zeus. All right. But when you read all of these, you just see they all have something to do with Zeus. Okay. But overall, Aphrodite, she is many of these. She's all these women figures that you see in here. She's all of them except Demeter. So Demeter, when you go down there, that's the only women figure right here that does not represent Aphrodite. All right. Demeter is the sister of Zeus. Okay. And then Hera is the wife and sister of Zeus. But go down to Zeus himself. Zeus is the last one. And it says, King of the gods. So this is their supreme god. Zeus is their supreme god. Ruler of Mount Olympus. And God of the sky. Weather, thunder, lightning, law, order, and justice. So he is their supreme deity. He is the youngest of the sun, Cronus and Rhea. He overthrew Cronus and gained the sorority of heaven for himself. All right. So it tells you he gained all the power when he took over Cronus. In art, he is depicted as a regal, mature man with a stature, figure, and dark beard. A sturdy figure and dark beard. His usual attributes are the royal scepter and the lightning bolt. His sacred animals include the eagle and the bull. So that's why here in America, Zeus is their guy. The eagle and the bull is everywhere. When you Wall Street, and then you have NASA, which represents the eagle, and Wall Street, which represents the bull. His Roman counterpart is Jupiter, also known as Jove. So that's where you get the whole Jehovah at, representing their supreme god, Zeus. But Jupiter is what? A planet, which is what? A fallen star, a wandering star. So now the Most High said, don't put these angels, these stars, in front of me. And this is exactly what the world has done. Okay? They put Zeus and his family, which are gods, in front of the Most High and his angels. So now the world, when they look up, they are representing Zeus and his angels. And when you break it down, I hate to say it, but Jupiter, which is Zeus, is Jesus, which is Jesus. That's all it is. And I'm going to show you. Go to, well, I got this college book. I'm going to show you right now. I got this college book, which is called Experiencing the World Religions, Traditions, Challenge, and Change. This is the 5th edition. They're probably on the 8th edition now. It's called Experiencing the World Religions. I'm going to go to a chapter that's called Greek and Roman Religions in Early Christianity. And I'm going to go to the back part. And it reads, as you end your walk along the Roman Forum, you may think of other parallels. Early images of a beardless Jesus. So it tells you when you walk along the Roman Forum, you'll see early images of a young Jesus, a beardless Jesus. Found in Christian burial chambers, resembles the images of Apollo and Dionysos. The tendencies to treat Zeus or Jupiter as the supreme god, as was shown by the great temple of Jupiter. So it tells you, you will see early images of a beardless Jesus, which resembles Apollo and Dionysos. And Dionysos, however you say that, which is basically Venus, all right? But they are Apollo's kids. And it tells you when you see the early images of a beardless Jesus, it looks like those two. And it looks like those two to treat Zeus or Jupiter as the supreme god. So it tells you right here, you have a picture of Jesus which looks like Apollo or Venus, and they did this to put Zeus as the supreme god. So when you see the word Jesus, it's just in representation of Zeus or Jupiter. All right. So through the spirit of Satan, they have you worshiping their gods. And so many people don't even realize it. Let's go to Matthew 4:8. Through the spirit of Satan, they got you worshiping their gods. Matthew 4:8 reads, again, the devil taketh him up into an exceeding high mountain, and shewed him all the kingdoms of the world, and the glory of it, and said unto him, all these things will I give thee, if thou wilt fall down and worship. Then said the Messiah unto him, get thee hence, Satan, for it is written, thou shalt worship the Most High thy power, and him only shalt thou serve. So Satan told the Messiah, hey, bow down and worship me, and then I will give you the kingdoms of this world. And the Messiah said, I will only worship my Father. I'm not going to worship you. So the same way Satan went to the Messiah to try to get the Messiah to worship him, Satan has went to everybody else in this world, the government, the people that run this world, so that those kingdoms that he was trying to offer and that glory that he was trying to offer to the Messiah that the Messiah turned down, other people accepted it, which is the people that run this world. They accepted that offer from Satan. So they worshiping Satan to have the kingdom and to have the glory that Satan's given them. But the Messiah says, get the hence. I worship my Father and only my Father. 1 Corinthians 8:5. Messiah is like, I don't worship Allah. I don't worship Jesus, which is Zeus. I don't worship Mary. Messiah said, I don't worship all them people. So why are y'all worshiping all those people? He said, I worship my Father, which is a higher. 1 Corinthians 8:5. For thou, there be that are called gods, whether in heaven or in the earth. So it says right here, they're going to be gods, whether they're in heaven or whether they're in earth. They're gods. As there be gods many and lords many. So I tell you, there are many gods and there are many lords. Verse 6, 1 Corinthians 8:6. But to us, there is but one God. There is one power. All right? The Father, of whom are all things, and we in him, and one Lord, the Messiah, Yahshua, by whom are all things, and we by him. So it tells you right here, there are many gods in heaven and earth, and there are many lords. But we call on one power. Because in verse 6, the word God is in capital G. So that means power. But in verse 5, it says gods with the lowercase g, which means angels. Y'all see that? Now that we broke it down, Corinthians 8 and 5, gods is in lowercase g, which is speaking of angels. So there are many angels. And then verse 6, God is in capital G, which means power. But there is but one power, which is the Father, which is Ahia, Ashar, Ahia, and that's who we call him. Deuteronomy 6 and 13. So tonight, we're just trying to give a better understanding when you're reading the Bible. When you see a lowercase gods, it's talking about the angels. But when you see a higher case gods, just means that just means power. It don't mean nobody. You're not calling nobody when you see God, the word God. You're not calling on nobody. It just means power. And all these angels had some type of power. Deuteronomy 6 and 13. Thou shalt fear the Most High thy power, and serve him, and shalt swear by his name. The word swear right there in Hebrew means to be complete. That's what the word swear in Deuteronomy 6 and 13 means. It means to be complete. So it's telling you when you fear the Most High and when you serve him, his name completes everything. Thou shalt fear the Most High thy power and serve him, worship him, and shalt be complete by his name. So once you serve him and fear him, you're complete when you use his name. When you use his name that he gave Moses, I am that I am, it completes everything that you're doing when you serve him. Okay? That's what swear means, to be complete. So this is why you need the Most High's true name. So when you use it, it completes your prayers. When you use his name in your prayer, it completes that prayer. But if you just use the word God, it does nothing for you. Verse 13. Ye shall not go after other gods, lowercase, of the gods of the people which are round about you. So these people that are round about you, don't go after their gods. Verse 15. For the Most High thy power is a jealous power among you, lest the anger of the Most High thy power be kindled against thee, and destroy thee from off the face of the earth. So it tells you that the Most High, Ahia, is jealous. If you're not representing him as the power of the Hebrews, which is Ahia, Ahia, he is getting jealous, and he's going to destroy you from the face of the earth. How will he do that? Remember when Moses came down from the mount and they was worshiping the golden calf? And Moses said, hey, y'all stop right now, this moment. And they looked at Moses, oh, Moses, you don't know what you're talking about. This is our God. And Moses said, what? All right, whoever's with me, step over here. And they laughed at him, and a few people stepped. And guess what happened to everybody else? The ground swallowed them up. So the Most High is going to do the same thing to you if you're not worshiping him and serving him and using the name that he gave Moses. Psalms 81 and 8. So you have to use the name that he gave Moses, which is I am that I am, Ahia, Ashar, Ahia, to be complete. You want salvation, you have to call on that name. You will not get salvation calling on the name God. He said that was his name forever and it was to be used at all times. Psalms 81 and 8. Hear, O my people, and I will testify unto you, O Israel, that thou wilt hearken unto me. There shall There shall no strange God be in thee, neither shalt thou worship any strange gods. So it tells you don't worship these strange gods. They have put many strange gods around us. And if you don't do your homework and your research, you won't realize that these are strange gods that you're worshiping. I am the Most High thy power, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt. Open thy mouth wide, and I will fill it. So he tells you, I am the person that brought you out of Egypt. So if you're not worshiping the God that brought the children out of Egypt, you're not worshiping the right person. But my people would not hearken to my voice. Still to this day, they're not listening. And Israel would none of me. So I gave them up unto their own heart's lust, and they walked in their own counsel. Oh, that my people had hearkened unto me, and Israel had walked in my ways, I should soon have subdued their enemies and turned my hand against their adversaries. So the Most High says, hey, if they would have hearkened unto me and walked in my ways, I would have took care of their enemies, and I would turn the hand against their adversaries. So these other gods is the adversaries that he's speaking of. How are they the adversaries? Because these other gods through these religions are leading people to the pit. All right. So like I said a few minutes ago, so if you're not following the God of the Hebrews, which is Ahia, who brought the children out of the land, out of Egypt, out of bondage, then you're following the wrong person. Ahia Ashar, Ahia is his name. It's not God. Okay? So when you're calling on these other individuals, which is all these other gods, you're just going right to the pit. You're just going right to the pit. Because these other gods, which are these angels who hit the earth and led the people to destruction, these angels are sitting in the place of torment right now. So when you call on these individuals, you're going to go right where these individuals are. So that's why you got to be careful. You're calling on these individuals, and these individuals, you're the ones that you're asking for help, they're going to lead you right to where they are, right to the pit. All right? Let's go to, I believe it's, hold on, Second Peter 2 and 4. Yeah, 2 Peter's 2 and 4. And it reads, for if Ahia spared not the angels that sinned, but cast them down to hell, and delivered them into chains of darkness to be reserved unto judgment. So these gods, these angels, which is these gods that the whole world is calling on, they're sitting in hell right now waiting on judgment day, in darkness, in the place of torment. So when you're calling on these individuals, they're answering your call, and all they're doing is calling you right to where they are, leading you right to where they are. Leading you right to the left, because we all know every soul goes to hell. The unrighteous goes to the left, and the righteous goes to the right. The unrighteous goes to the left to where these angels are sitting, and then the righteous goes to the right to where the Most High Ahia, those people that called on him and followed his ways, they sit there and wait until the day of judgment. So you got to be real careful. when you use these words. They threw these words in the Bible and put them all throughout the Bible, God and Lord, so you can call on that and use that for the Most High to be deceived on who he truly is and who he truly is and what his true name is. Because they knew if you use his true name, that name will fight off your adversaries, which is the devil. So when you got evil upon you and you use the true name Ahia, the devil flees. When you use the true name Yeshaya, which is the Messiah's name, the devil flees. Because the devil is an angel. And that, by him being an angel, we read tonight that those other angels feared the Most High. So when they hear the name of the Most High, they fear, they leave. It's almost like Mufasa. What movie is that? When you say Mufasa and the hyenas, they shook. That's how the angels are. When you say Ahia, they fear. They shake. But if you don't know the true name Ahia to use it in time of need of the adversaries, and not only in time of the need of the adversaries, you use it in time of joy, in time of glory. You give him your glory. When things go good, you give the glory to Ahia. But if you don't know who to give the glory to, how do he continue to bless you with more? We read tonight also that that name completes you. It says, fear the Most High and serve him and swear by his name. To be complete by his name. So when you use his name completes everything. So when you go to him for forgiveness, you use his name Ahia, it completes that forgiveness. When you go to him in prayer, you use the name Ahia, it completes that prayer. When you wake up during the day, in the morning, and you just say, thank you, Ahia, it completes that thank you. Not the word God, not the word Lord. And there's way more information I could have went into tonight, but you know, I try to keep it in the realm of our time. So if you want, there's information you can look up on gods and lords, and you'll get so much more information. They got like the movie Lord of the Rings. You know, I've never watched that, so I don't know what it's about, so I can't even tell you about what it's about. But the Lord of the Rings let you know that it was representing many lords, many masters. So why we call him Lord when they show you through the movies that anybody could be a Lord? They got video games called God of War. And when you play that video game called God of War, it's got all these gods in here. Most of them that we just went over in Google, the list of gods. Hades and Cronus and all those guys. When you play that game, video game, God of War, you got to defeat all of those gods. So it's all right here in our face, and you can't have no excuses to say you didn't know. It's all right here. So with that in mind, we'll go ahead and close it out. We'd like to thank the Spirit for the information, and we'll say Shalom, all praises to the Most High.